All right, so we're not even gonna. I don't know. Let's reset that. I don't even know if this is gonna work. I haven't done a trailer reaction in a while. I don't know what the audio is gonna sound like. So we may post this, we may not. If we don't, you'll never even hear this. Anyways, so Halloween Ends. She's a huge fan of Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. I have my issues with both. You can hear a full detailed complaint section in both the movies, albeit enjoyable enough for me. It's not that I hate them outright. I have my issues, and that's okay. That's the fanboy in me a little too much, and usually I can let that stuff go. But with the Halloween franchise, I can't seem to. This is just it says official trailer, which is odd to me because it's only a minute 20. So to me, this would be a teaser, but the movie comes out in like 3 months. So this is a pretty late teaser, but it says trailer. It would usually say official teaser, and a trailer is usually at least 2.5 minutes, or 2 minutes, should I say, and 2.5 minutes. This is a minute 22 official trailer. I don't know. I'm thinking teaser. We'll be able to tell just from the trailer alone whether it's a teaser or a trailer, because will it have story beats in it, or is it just glimpses of things? You guys know how a teaser works. I don't need to explain it to you. Let's move on. I'm pressing play. Let's find out. All right. And action. We got a red band here.
Red for blood.
Just means it can be R-rated. All right. Let's see how this sounds. They're playing the Halloween music? Never would have expected that. All right, we doing a time jump here? Or is this actually going to still be on the same night? It can't be on the same night. There's no way. This is an homage to the original. Because this is the Myers house. This is where we have the twist in.
Come on, let's go.
She had him dead to rights there. So she's taking him on in the Myers house.
Ooh.
We're seeing original footage. I think that's gonna be it.
Come get me, motherfucker.
His poor hand.
His whole hand is fucked up.
That's it. That's all.
Okay. So then, really all we get out of this is, what everyone is expected, right?
Yeah.
So we get it in the first film, Michael versus Laurie. And Laurie wins that battle. And whether or not they had a plan for more, I'm assuming they left it open-ended in case it made a lot of money, which they figured it would. But it's like that open-ended, like, we can make a sequel, we don't have to. He's burned to death or he hasn't, right? So they leave it there. And then we got the second one, which Laurie is like pretty much
Not
absent
really
from.
in at all.
She's clearly got full mobility back,
Yes.
right? She's wearing her original outfit from the 1st film, which I don't know how I feel about that. She dressed as Laurie Strode for Halloween. Like,
She dressed as
I
herself.
mean, it looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
For what I can tell of the outfit, it looks pretty identical to the one she wears in the original film. We're seeing footage from the original film, which I think is just a reminder to the audience. I don't think we're going to be seeing that in the film.
I hope that there's
we
some.
might.
Well, yeah, I don't want to see the original footage necessarily, but I'd love to see, more footage from the timeline or from that time period. Shot now. That would be really cool, like they do in Halloween Kills. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely go back in time again, right? And do what you said. I could absolutely see that happening. So he's walking up the stairs. He looks in Judith's room where he killed his sister originally. And boom, there's his not sister who was once his sister in a different
In a
timeline,
different universe.
but now she's standing in in the room, right? That's Judith's room again.
Mm-hmm.
But this looks like, so
It
we
looks
got pictures
different,
up on the wall, right? We've got some newspaper clippings. Maybe Laurie has bought and moved in to the Myers house. So now she lives there because she expects him to come back there. Because this is where her daughter died, right? So this is where Michael killed his sister. She's now living in this house almost as if she's living in his sister's room, almost making her his sister again, if that's the case. In his eyes, anyways, we'll see that. Yeah, so the newspaper clippings makes me think that she's looking for, reports, sightings, whatever. So this would put a time to it. Has to be a time. So
it has to be like the following year at least.
At least a year. I'm gonna go. If she's purchased the house and is looking for newspaper clippings, she's expecting him to come back on Halloween.
Right.
Right. I mean, I think she's figured out the pattern here by this point. But I would assume years have passed, plural. I'll go with 3 to 5. And of course, all we see in this is Laurie. I mean, we see her her granddaughter, who likes to call her grandmother. We see her for 1 second? Allison, right?
Yeah, Allison's not in this for much.
She's in it for one scream, I think is what I saw. She's like screaming by a car or something. Is that what it was? And then Laurie's just got Michael dead to rights here.
Yeah, that shot is intense.
The pumpkin behind her, from what I can see, looks a lot like the one she carves with Tommy Doyle, with the really thin mouth and the really thin stuff. She's got painkillers up here and medicine. So this very much looks like an older person's room.
But there's also like a basketball hoop.
There's a basketball hoop. She's just staying in shape. You guys can't see what we're looking at right now. I'm just looking through the trailer really quick as we look. We've got this kid who I'm not sure I recognize.
No, I don't recognize him either.
And this looks like another new person here.
So
their saga ends.
Yeah, it looks like this is going to be
the final
Michael
showdown.
and Laurie. Yeah.
I could definitely see this, what we see in the trailer, taking place in the first act. And Laurie dying like 10 to 15 minutes into the movie, and that's when Halloween Ends happens. And then we see the rest of the movie play out after Laurie's death. That would be preferable to me and would be a really good shock. And what would be really cool about that is because Halloween has always been, first and foremost, an homage to Psycho with Sam Loomis and the using of Janet Leigh's daughter and all the stuff.
Sure,
having her die unexpectedly.
That would be really cool.
In the first act, even though in Psycho she's kind of dead at the end of the first act, beginning of the second, it doesn't matter. But kind of doing a Psycho homage within a Psycho homage franchise and have her killed in the first 10 minutes. Like, make this the opening. Yeah. Because if this is third act stuff, man, that's an issue.
But yeah, the whole movie is just building up to that.
Yeah, and that's all they show in the first footage we see is only primarily final act stuff.
There's no way.
That's fucking rough if that's the case. But that looks like final act stuff. That's why I want them to subvert expectations, move this to the beginning, kill Laurie, and then it becomes like Allison takes over, right? She becomes the new final girl, the passing of the mantle. And then she's the one that's going after it. I think it might piss some people off because people want the Laurie versus Michael thing. That being said, we've gotten Laurie versus Michael in Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween H2O, Halloween Resurrection, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills Not Really, right?
No.
And then this one, I mean, how many fucking times do we need Michael versus Laurie? Let's kill her quick, Let's make it a really rad opening where he comes into the house just like in the opening of the other one, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah,
He's
the
out,
first person.
it's outside. You do kind of an homage to the original. You do an homage to Psycho. Really kind of bring it full circle. And then from there, all bets are off, right?
'cause then
Because
it's all
she's
new.
dead, and it's like, shit. Where do we go from here?
Sure.
And
yeah.
how does this end?
That would be super cool, and I really hope something like that happens, because if this is the final act, then it's gonna suck. I really liked Halloween Kills because we spent so much time away from Laurie, and I do love Laurie, but I just want the franchise to have new characters, you know, kind of take, like you said, take the
Absolutely.
mantle. So
Come and get me,
yeah.
motherfucker. Yeah. So his hand is still. You know what's weird though is in the shot when she stabs his hand, his hand looks like it's still fucked up
I noticed
from that
too,
same night.
actually.
It just looks like it's still bleeding and hasn't healed. But I could just be seeing that wrong, and she might have damaged it more,
Sure,
right,
easily,
in this scene. But regardless, sticking the hand down the garbage disposal, we know it doesn't happen. She headbutts him, but that would be pretty great. I mean, if he like grabs her again and shoves her hand down the garbage disposal, and we kind of have like an eye for eye, eye for an eye.
Hand for a
Yeah,
hand.
she takes some of his hand, he takes some of her hand, right? There's some mirroring of injuries and whatnot,
That would
and
be
she
kinda
goes
cool.
down swinging, right? Like he's just not gonna stab her. I mean, he could, but like I'd like to
It's gotta
see
be
her
more than
brutalized. I'd like to see him brutalized,
Both
right?
of them
Like
brutalized.
it's a battle, right? It's like Kong versus Godzilla or something, where you want to see one knock the fuck out, right? But you also want to see the other one knock the fuck out, or what kind of a fight is it, right?
A
So if it's a
boring
big
one.
fight, you really want to see both of them get
Sure.
pretty
You want the
fucking.
stakes to be really high for both, where you're like, are they
Exactly.
gonna die? Are they both gonna die?
And if he does take a
Is
piece of her
everyone
hand,
dead?
it's almost poetic, and
Sure.
it adds stakes, as you
Yes.
said. So,
Yeah.
it should start with Lori dying, and she should get her hand cut up, like all that stuff. That's what I want. But if I don't get it, and they do it a different way, and it's good, I'm fine with that. I don't need my theories to be correct. I'm not a fucking asshole, like so many people online, where they're like, "Oh, all my
I'm
theories were
wrong."
wrong, and I don't want to admit I'm wrong, so I'm just gonna point out how horrible the movie is now to distract away from the fact that I was wrong and I should have just waited." Oh, my kiss mark from my not from you,
Not for me.
Not
Nope. From
not
another
from another
beautiful
little
lady.
girl.
Yeah.
My daughter. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the Jeepers Creepers one, and hopefully we'll be able to use this take. We'll see. All right. Let us know what you thought. What are your predictions? And do you like what we're saying? Do you think that this is first act? Do you think this is second, third act? Do you not give a shit? I would hope that you're watching this because you give a shit.
I
Like
would hope that.
I hate this. I don't want to see this, but I'm
Don't
clicking on
waste your
every
time on
video
stuff you hate.
about it. Like, people are fucking weird. If you don't want to see it, don't see it. Let us know.